It's Cars and Bids.
I'm Kennan.
I'm Crazy Nick.
And today we're going to discuss what year was peak car. Where did it get to be the best?
The zenith of automotive perfection.
Let's do it. Okay, what year was peak car?
Now, I know what you're going to say.
I know what I'm going to say, and I'm right.
Nick?
I think I'm picking the obvious choice, so maybe we're all three on the same year.
I got lucky that I turned 16 the year of peak car. Do you ever feel that way? Because you were probably 18, 19, right? 20? We're talking 04.
Math, huh? I don't know how old I was then. Let's see,
It's a
freshman
very
in college.
easy-
If we're talking about 04 Rich, then I was 19.
Yeah, I assumed you would say 04.
Yeah.
I'm saying 03 to 05.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing a year.
I tried to do that and
I
toggle
chose it.
plus or minus one, and I still landed on 04. I think the group, whether intentionally or not, 04 Rich is the correct year.
There are some cars you miss by not adding 05. There are
Agreed.
some, but anyway, what did you say?
I put it on the line. I picked a year. 05.
05.
No
All right,
question.
So 05, 04, and then
You know,
a rate.
I'll tell you, it's interesting.
Allow me to go...
When you ask boomers the answer to this question, they say 60s, whatever.
69.
Yeah.
The answer is 04 or 05 or 03 or 06, but like in there. And it's like, this is our 60s.
It's
Yeah.
our 60s.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
It also tells you that the next 40 years after the peak 60s muscle car era were kind of meh.
Yeah.
I mean,
no
there were-
one would ever say that 86 or 75 or 91 or...
There were some decent cars in that era, but at the same time, it wasn't consistently all bangers until
But I think we
the
should-
2000s.
I think we should probably clarify why exactly.
I have made this argument on pods before and even in a video of my own before, peak car being this era. And when I sat down today to actually list all of the cars that came out of that era,
Yeah.
it is an unbelievable list. The supercars are obvious. Ford GT, Carrera GT, Enzo, SLR, MC12.
Veyron.
Didn't
Vey.
Vey.
05.
Veyron,
Yeah.
which was the thing of the
king,
thing.
Yeah.
You were missing the most important supercar of this era.
He did say MC12.
He said MC12.
But it is
But
Nick.
in typical Nick fashion.
You know what I'm going to do?
huh?
You know what I'm going to do?
Oh my God. The chair just snapped.
I'm
There
going to
we go.
repeat everything twice. And that way, my thinking is that Nick will finally hear it.
Did you say the Selena 7 too?
I didn't, but that is up there.
You missed it.
The fact that Celine was doing that ridiculous of a thing, and the Zonda was around.
Yep,
the
Zonda.
Zonda was, it wasn't new then. It came out late 90s, but it
Sure.
was there.
Well,
Counts.
in 05, the F came out, which was the one.
But in addition to the crazy supercars, not only did Lamborghini have the Mercy, which is an amazing special car, but they had just come out with an entry-level Lamborghini for the first time
Yep.
in 20 years, and for the first time ever that wasn't terrible.
It was definitely peak Lambo. 04 is like such a huge moment for Lamborghini because I think the Gallardo kept them afloat when the Mercy
A lot
was
of
like...
us feel that
Yeah, some of us feel
78.
No, right, exactly.
Lamborghini would not be around and in the position it was if it weren't for the commercial, commercial success of the Gallardo in particular. It was the Cayenne moment to Porsche.
you could make a lot of those arguments about various points in Lamborghini's history.
Lamborghini's history is fraught with those
I know.
inflection
That's
points.
why I identify with the brand so well.
So Lamborghini is one that came up too. But that's just the high end. The crazy thing about this time, the thing that really hit me about this time that was so special was it wasn't just that. Do you know, in this era, and I don't remember the exact year, Audi RS got launched in the US in 03
Yeah.
with the RS6. Jaguar launched R with the S-Type
Yep.
R. Cadillac launched V with the original CTS V. It came out in 04. Dodge launched SRT, which lives on to this day with crazy cars. That was
Yep.
05 with the 300C SRT, the Magnum SRT, and the Charger SRT. And Volvo launched R with the S60R. That all happened within a year span in 04, 05, 06-ish. Like it would probably an 18-month span.
Yep.
All of those performance brands, most of which are still around today, were
So they-
all launched.
I didn't realize so interesting that they all, because that product planning must have come long before that.
I mean, Audi RS is a bit of a cop out there. It was just for the US that it was launched, but it was for the US. Like we find, okay, here we are, an Audi RS car comes
And
to
Audi
the US.
also had-
But yeah, you're right. Like all of that hit at the same time.
it's not like there was some regulation push. They just did it. It just like kind
They
of
were,
all happened.
it was right after the dot-com boom, and I think people had like a lot of disposable income. Audi also started putting a V8 in the S4, the B6 S4.
That's a good one.
All the cars were bangers, so I agree with you.
The
Like,
RS4 was soon after, which
Yeah.
was probably 06, 07. But the
07,
V8
yeah,
S4
for
came
US.
out in 03?
04.
04.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and of course, in this era also, never forget, BMW had a V10 in the M5 beginning in 06
Yeah.
and a V8 in the M3 beginning in 08.
Yeah.
You know, even Hummer,
Never to be done again.
Hummer had both the H1 and the H2 available.
Yes,
so
and the
certainly
H1,
peak Hummer.
The H1
Alpha.
was the Alpha.
Yeah.
Was the absolute peak of the Hummer situation.
Aston had the Vanquish, which is still
And
their
the
best
DB9.
design.
Aston is such a great example.
Aston
Yeah.
was my favorite example.
Aston in that 06, 05, 06 or 04, 06 came out with DB9 and V8 Vantage.
And also the more boring cars. So Honda had the S2000, but they also had the Odyssey was like revolutionary to the Pilot, the Element.
Yeah, all
like,
that's true.
Their whole lineup was just masterclass.
But you're forgetting they still had the NSX. This is another special thing about it. 05 and now what is now considered best of breed. The NSX ended in 05 and most people now consider that 02 to 05 NSX to be the one.
Yeah.
The fixed headlight one.
Yep. We had one recently.
Lincoln had the LS, and they were still making the town car.
Okay.
Arguably,
not every
Lincoln's-
brand.
You know, it was funny.
Although I like the
It is funny.
Yeah,
I went
me
through
too.
this. I went through all the brands and they all fit with this except
Buick.
Lexus.
Ooh, Lexus. Yeah, because what was Lexus making?
I put Lexus in mine. They had the
Nothing.
The IS. IS was pretty cool. The SC, pretty cool.
They didn't have the ISF
the Pebble Beach
yet.
edition. Are you
Yeah, the
aware?
430.
Yeah.
The ISF wasn't until 08, I think.
Yeah, it was a little
bit
later.
later.
But
Well,
Subaru and Mitsubishi in this era also
Evo,
had come
yeah.
with the Evo and the WRX finally to the US, which was a huge deal.
Yeah.
GTR came a little bit later, but it was a huge deal.
You know what also was really cool in 04 specifically? Maybach 57 and 62.
That is a really good one. And the Phantom. The Phantom came out right at that time too. I didn't even think about that. But the
Phantom.
Phantom 04, yeah.
And the Phaeton.
Yeah, Volkswagen had a Phaeton and the Continental GT.
Yeah.
Bentley was revived in this period.
Right.
With a twin turbo W12. Bentley was revived in this period.
Land Rover had the
Ferdinand Piech,
L322.
just making people do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the L322 was a special car for Land Rover in a way
Yeah.
that I guess qualifies, but it wasn't. I have more. Mazda brought the rotary back. The RX-8.
RX-8?
After 10 years with no rotary, the RX-8 shows up. Not a revered car now, but it was a special thing that the rotary was Mazda's contribution to this. This was obviously also, this era was Ferrari's last gasp of the gated manual. It didn't really end until like 10, but the last time you could get a gated manual Ferrari was 04, 05, 06. Like the 430, like in this era.
Yeah, that 430 came out.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was also the end of like it was a transitional period of time for them because like the 550, 575 platform was going away. The 599 was coming right behind it.
Yep.
It was 612 horsepower from
Yep.
an Enzo drive.
Yep.
12. I mean, it was a blend of the performance of the cars became amazing. They looked really great. They were relatively reliable. They were and
they were analog. They were it was still before.
analog.
Because I think a lot of people could watch this and say, well, wait a minute. In 2015, you had LaFerrari P1, you had Teslas that had 1,000 horsepower. But the fact that all these cars were still kind of, there was just a small period in the car world where the cars were still analog but fast by modern standards.
And
Yes.
beautiful.
And attractive. And it was these 03 to 07, like this mid 2000s era. Elise came to the United States for the first time in 05. The Termi Cobra.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also had the Cadillac had the CTS-V, although the first gen, but the Escalade came out, was like a legit Escalade, including the EXT, which I thought was really, really cool.
Of course, you would mention the EXT.
I was like only going performance cars here. He's off here talking Odyssey, Honda Odyssey.
Yeah, and the EXTs.
The original EXT, though.
Yeah, I don't know if we've sold one of those, to be quite honest.
It was just an unbelievable era. Z8 was even still in production till 03. So like even that was still around. BMW was still going with that stuff.
I also think the 996 GT2,
Yep.
we talk about a lot as like a slept-on Porsche of that era. And
Which
like,
was 05,
special.
right?
Yeah, right at the end.
04, 05.
I'd be placing
But
my order in
You
late
chose
04.
the year. I didn't.
That's why I think, yes, you can choose this. I think that this period of time is correct. I think 05 is significant just because in that year alone, it was the Ford GT, the Courier GT, the Veyron, the Zonda F, the 575 Super America, the Garda, the DB9, which came out actually in 04, but was more
was there.
on US soil, and the Vanquish S, which came out in 05.
Yeah.
That group of cars alone is, I mean, if you're going to pick 1 year of production, that's crazy.
Well, and
But I
stuff
think-
that hadn't even just come out then, but was out. Like STI Evo had been 03, 04. Those were big deals. E55 with the monster engine was 03. Like,
yeah.
it's just there were
Yep.
just so
The V211.
so everybody was participating in this except for Lexus. Everybody was participating.
Lexus always comes a little late to the party. That's why they still make an NAV8 and like a.
This is why when I was 16, I just assumed this party would continue forever, and I was like, a V10 M5. The next M5 is going to be a V12. I bet.
I remember thinking that.
I remember thinking that, and you look back on it now, and you didn't realize that actually you were in kind of a very special, like, last gasp situation.
Lehman Brothers screwed it all up for us.
kind of, but
It would have ended anyway because of the fuel and emissions regulations. Like, even if the economy had continued to boom, and a few years later it started again to boom, but the cars were never the same again. It was just never going to be the same again. At some point, we woke up to the fact that we couldn't have all these, giant. We couldn't put a V8 in a 4Runner. We couldn't put it couldn't be done. There had to be turbos. There had to be rules.
it became more responsible. But it was a golden period of time.
Mercedes, last one I'll mention is Mercedes was also putting V12s in a lot. So we didn't quite have the G65 yet, but we had the G55, but SL65,
That's right.
S65. Like,
it's
that was
That's
nuts.
exactly
They were
right.
putting
Those cars-
bi-turbo V12s in normal
Those
cars.
cars all came out for 06?
Yeah.
That was an absolute smash in the face in 06. Yeah. You're exactly right. That was another one.
Take us back.
All of them, all of these cars, it was such an era. There was nothing you couldn't do as an automaker.
Yeah.
Like every automaker you can name had some crazy stuff. The Cadillac V cars, the XLR-V and the STS-V that were starting to come out.
Such a deep Kennan car.
Yeah, I'll have one at some stage. Not yet, but I'll give up my manual card for that.
You know who sat out this era in addition to Lexus? Hyundai and Kia.
They were, I mean, at the time they were making.
Although
They were
first,
still trying to prove themselves.
the
different.
first breakthrough Sonata came out in 06. Type in the 06 Sonata. Let's have a look at it. This was the first breakthrough
Do
Sonata.
we need to?
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute breakthrough Sonata. Here's the Hyundai newsroom. Click on it.
Let's go see.
Click on the news release for the Sonata like you've never seen.
Close out their
Let's email their press
The
guy.
growing luster of Hyundai's brand reputation.
There it is. Illustrious.
V6. Anyway, so we agree.
Yeah.
Big car, 04, 05, 06. It's hard to pin down
kind
a
of-
year. I guess 05. You said 05. I guess that's right. You lose the Enzo.
You lose the Enzo, but you gain the Veyron.
And you lose the Z8.
Which, of course, I love the Enzo, and I probably would prefer to own one of those, but the Veyron is the Concorde of our generation.
It came out.
Transformed, like, love it or hate it, it really transformed the way the car not only was viewed, but also what a car could do.
You lose the E46, including the CSL.
No, E46 was produced until, it was you could get one in 05.
05.
One of the late
They're
competition.
specifically M3s.
Yeah, specifically the one you want. The
All right,
CSL
all
at
right,
the end.
touche.
The CSL and the CRT, which Emily has.
All right, so let's
That's
say 2004 and a half.
I think, yeah.
I think 05.
But
I'm not losing the
if you
crazy
lose
shit.
06, you lose the V10 M5, and which I think is like a big contributor.
Yeah,
to this whole
05
thing.
you miss an M5.
The market has really
Hard to
spoken on those V10 M5s.
But
and said,
but you're missing.
yeah, but you're
car.
missing the point. Like it was crazy.
I know, I agree. I want one. I'm
06
actively shopping for one.
The V10 M5, I agree. 04, 05 were probably better than 06, but 06 with that V10 M5, it really was like, where is this going to go? And the answer is that was kind of the end.
Do you
Here.
think?
That's where it went.
Is this what wine people do? Like, oh, the 04 vintage had oak barrels, and the 06 had
Yes,
more
it
rain
is.
in the spring.
Hey, there are
Pride.
nuances to everything, and
Pride.
this is a nuanced topic.
We probably sound as obnoxious as they do. Huh?
We do, but you know what?
Sweet.
We are right. And every great car came out of that era. Oh, God. I look back on my list of personal cars that I have owned from overall, and so many of my cars came from this exact era because they were all, it was such
Really good.
Yeah.
Our 60s.
I've got a 99 Multipla, an 02 Arnage, an 06 Mercy. Like,
No,
I'm
when
still
I look back
living in that era.
overall, 07 GTI, that actually is another one. The GTI return
Yeah.
was finally good.
Was the
beginning-
R32 that era?
Yeah, the 04
Yeah.
R32, and then
Yeah.
they came out the next gen R32.
There you go, bangers, 2004.
I had an Elise, I had a CTS-V, I had a G500, which was like early then. I had an 06.
You know what was also peak car was the MTV music videos. Remember, we've looked back on
Yeah.
those, but like, you learn stuff.
F430, Vantage, so many of the cars that I have loved over the years. Obviously,
Peak
my
car
Ford GT,
spotting.
Courier
Yeah.
GT.
Again,
came out
and
of
again,
that
it just comes down to it was just a rare moment in time when everything came together, and we'll never see that
era.
again.
We lost it all. The
Hey, you can
financial
still-
crisis.
But if you want to get them, you can still,
Yeah, there
it's a
are
little
cars and
website I've
bids.
heard of. Yeah, exactly.
You know
There
what
go.
you left off your
For
list?
Filippo.
Maserati MC12. Goodbye.